sell in May and go away. Sell in May and go away. Are we going to get the top in Bitcoin and the top in Ethereum and the stock market in this May? Because they've all had big runs. Ethereum has doubled from the bottom. Bitcoin making a new all-time high. Stock market has an amazing run for the last 6 weeks or so since April the 7th, right? Massive bounce for the last 6 weeks. But they always say sell in May and go away. That's the seasonality, especially now Bitcoin at this crucial area I've been pointing out to folks here. Not looking good for the very short term, right? This is, a lot of people are saying this could be like 2021 bull run again, where you have a double top scenario, and Bitcoin loves to get just like 3K, 2 or 3K right above, right, its previous high, and then turn down. And that's the scenario I've been warning about, warning. You know, I've been saying quite a lot that I think Bitcoin double top at 113K. Now, by the way, I want to just make it clear. I do not think it's a double top. But they will try to lure you in. They will try to suck you in, make you think double top at 113K. I said, or is this only the start of a major leg up? So, just to clarify, because idiots always come back to me and said, you said up or down. I will say it 100% clear. I do not think it's double top 112, 113K. But I have warned there would be a short pullback, a small pullback. If I'm going to set up a pullback, I would do it at 112 to 113K. And how far is this pullback going to be? Is it going to be like a 10, 20, 30% pullback and then we break new all-time highs? Look at this. Basically, have a look at the funding rates, right? When this happened at 112, 113, funding rates were mostly black with patches of green, patches of red. Now it's mostly green. Mostly green meaning the market is going short. Most people out there did not listen to Pablo and did not short 112, 113K, never got to 113K, but most people are shorting now at 108K. And my personal opinion is that we probably see a slightly bigger move down. Right, I don't think 101, 102K gets taken out. May not even get there. This is a bearish engulfing pattern, so because it's bigger than this green bar here, the red bar. So basically, we're probably gonna pull back a little bit more, small bounce, pull back a little bit more, something like this, and then may not even get there, something like this, 104, 105, and then up we go by sucking the bears in. Could be just like a cup and handle pattern, and then up we go. So, but there's bigger news I want to show you guys today, why I think crypto is about to rocket, mainly because the Trump government said this, that's straight from the Treasury Secretary, that digital assets is going big. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. And this time, I believe them. Remember how I was skeptical before when Trump said Bitcoin strategic reserve? I was skeptical on that, but I believe them this time. Why is Bitcoin and crypto assets about to go big? Before we answer the question, first let's answer which crypto exchange does Pablo Hui use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that is non-KYC. That means you don't need to show your ID. That means even the exchange can't even see who you are. Of course, then Americans can use it. This is my link with Bitunix, because if you join, then you can just deposit and receive up to $200 US, trade and win up to 35,000 US, but only on the Pablo Hui link, right? But for limited time only until June 4th, and chance to win a Tesla Model 3, Rolex watch, Apple Vision Pro, Sony, all these great prizes. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. But if you're watching on any other platform, such as this one, basically just click on my profile page and just go to my profile, right? And then click on the stand link here. This works for any other platform, and it'll be the first deal that comes up, because this is a great deal. Okay, so let's get back to the markets. And remember, folks, only on the Pablo Hui link. So let's hear what Scott Bessent, the Trump Secretary of State, had to say. And I'll break it down for you guys, why this is such bullish news.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. Past administration starved and.
Okay, so we are going big on digital assets, and that's, you might say, Pablo, that sounds even more empty. That sounds like it's even more empty than the promises he made before. At least before, the promise he made was he's going to do a strategic Bitcoin reserve, right? That didn't happen. That didn't happen. So he says, oh, we're going to do a strategic, what did he call it? A stockpile, altcoin. No, he said strategic digital asset stockpile. Strategic digital asset stockpile, meaning it's for all crypto, not just for Bitcoin reserve. Stockpile and reserve are actually legally different. A reserve is when, like oil and gold, that's a strategic reserve. That's highest priority, use it for war. Stockpile is kind of like, yeah, it's lesser important. That's actually a legal language. It's kind of like saying now something is urgent or something is actionable, right? That's actually very different. Here, what he has to say next that makes me think this is definitely coming. It's much bigger than the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Let's listen to him.
Debts, especially stable coins, and I've seen estimates that just over the short term, stable coins could create $2 trillion of demand for U.S. Treasuries and Treasury bills. To put that in context, the number is probably about $300 billion right now. We are going
That's
big.
the key. That is the key, folks. Did you hear that? I'll play the key sentence again. He says again.
And for U.S. Treasuries and Treasury bills, $2 trillion of demand.
You
create $2 trillion of demand for U.S. Treasuries and Treasury bills.
2 trillion. Okay, so if you are in my Discord, you've been watching my videos, or even just follow me on any social media, then you know how big this is. Because I have been stressing that the United States facing with a lot of debt refinance this year. You know it, and I know it. Everybody in the world knows. That's why Bitcoin's hot. That's why gold and Bitcoin both making new all-time highs, because United States has now 37 trillion, not 36, they've gone up again, 37 trillion US dollars in debt. And Trump has no realistic way of repaying that. So everything Trump is doing so far, is to try to pay back this debt. And so basically, look, one thing he did, first thing he tried was the tariffs. And with the tariffs, he basically said, oh, look, we're going to bluff every country by making them pay for higher tariffs. But that's actually not the end game. The end game is not tariffs itself. The end game is to force China, Europe, and Japan to beg US to lower the tariffs. And when Trump agrees to lower the tariffs, he's going to say, but you're going to do something for me. When I do this for you, you're going to do something for me. What's that? Buy more US Treasury bonds. It's something called Mar-a-Lago, where they basically, rather than refinancing, buying back the US Treasury bonds, you basically have to agree to a 100-year US Treasury bond that is zero interest coupon. It's one of those, you do get paid interest, but you don't collect your interest till at the very end, 100 years later. It's what they call a zero coupon Treasury bond. That is 100 years. So all the countries have to buy it and wait 100 years to get your money and your interest back. Of course, everyone knows it's a scam deal, and that's why there's so much resistance right now. So why do I think, let's get back to why I think this is so big for crypto, is because he says he's going to want to attract $2 trillion to crypto. How do we know he's not lying again? How do we know this is not like the strategic Bitcoin reserve? Because they need to pay all that debt. I just explained to you guys, spent 2 minutes explaining to you guys, the United States needs to pay all that debt. So the way it would have to work, this is the US 10-year Treasury yield I'm showing you guys, by the way. Every time Trump caves is because the US 10-year Treasury yield is shooting up. And it's still shooting up. It broke out of this bull flag that I've drawn in my Discord, and now it's going up. What happens is basically this. The United States basically need to fund all this borrowing, repay all this debt. It doesn't have money. And it pissed off all these major countries like China, European Union, Japan, the only deal they got out of is UK. Nobody else, not even India right now. So, and India's not even in the top 8, top 10 of the US Treasury bond buyers. So what's going to happen now is basically, what's one way to buy US Treasury bonds? Who's going to buy it? Who's going to buy those US Treasury bonds? You know who? You know who's the 5th largest buyer of US Treasury bonds in the world? It basically goes like this. It goes Japan, UK, China, European Union. Do you know who's number 5? Number 5 used to be Korea, number 6 Germany. Do you know who's number 5 right now? That's what gave them the idea that they're going to do this. It's Tether. Tether, the stablecoin company, is the 5th largest buyer. So what that means is this. What they're trying to do is basically issue all these, make stablecoins legal. Before they were attacking Tether, remember? The New York Attorney General sued Tether and kicked out of New York and probably America as well for good. So now because they realize, hang on a sec, Tether is actually the 5th or 6th largest buyer of U.S. Treasury bonds in the world if we compare to other countries. So therefore, we really want Tether to this situation to get bigger and bigger. So you heard what he just said. Right now, it's about 300 billion. That market is about 300 billion, but they want to make it 2 trillion. 2 trillion. That's why you're seeing headlines like JP Morgan, Citibank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, the 4 largest banks in the United States. They are all basically introducing stable coins. And the reason why they want to do this is so that there's trillions, literally many trillions of dollars parked in the banking system, right? You use it to buy bread, to buy milk, to pay for fuel, petrol, to pay for rent. And instead of letting that money flow around via Visa or MasterCard and via bank transfers, they are now getting the banks to start transferring their money around as stable coins. Then they've created a bigger version of Tether in the world. Then that basically means they've created more stable coins. And what do stable coins need to do? Stable coins need to be backed 1-to-1 by US Treasury bonds, right? That's the safest way to do it. And it's probably the only way to do it, according to them. So they would take that money and they would park it in US Treasury bonds. And if they get another $1 trillion or $2 trillion in, that's another $2 trillion that's going to be parked into US Treasury bonds before they can issue that money to the average person to use as stable coins. So now you can pay for your groceries in stable coins, you can pay your rent in stable coins, you can pay so many things in stable coins. But just think about this. Before, in order to buy crypto, you need to basically, download the Coinbase app, get your funds transferred onto Coinbase. You need to do all this and all that, and get your ID registered. And you don't even know what a stable coin is. You have to get your US dollars transferred, bank transfer onto Coinbase, and then you buy these cryptos. It's more complicated than that. Now, everybody's got a digital wallet in their phone. So everybody's got an app. Instead of Coinbase app, you have a digital wallet, right? And everyone's using stable coins. You use stable coins just to, like I said, pay rent and pay for gas, pay for fuel. In that case, you would just use that stable coin. It'd be pretty easy to use that stable coin to just download some sort of app like Bitunix and just say, I already have stable coins. Let me buy some cryptos. Let me buy the Trump coin. Or you just download a DEX like Flare, or a wallet like Flare, like whatever. It basically means stable coins. It's going to be in everyone's hands. That makes the step from going from fiat, from a normie who doesn't understand crypto, to buying crypto so much easier once you have stable coin. And once people are like, well, you already have crypto, except you have stable coins, you can use it to buy other crypto, such as Bitcoin, such as Ethereum, such as whatever. And you can trade on exchanges such as Bitunix or whatever. Then that makes things so much easier. That's why this is a call to Wall Street, to everybody, that the big boys, the biggest of big boys, the big 4, are now coming into the stablecoin space and making crypto more legit. So I think this is going to happen in the next few months. they're still wrangling through the laws and regulations, but I think this is going to happen in the next few months, and this is going to be huge for crypto. Bitcoin is going to benefit the most, and then some DeFi coins as well. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you next episode.